if you'll pause for just a minute in feeding yourself, why don't we step up or stand up and greet one another and just say hello to the people around you and possibly people across the room. Let's greet each other. Daniel, I'm about to call on you. You ready? It looks like you guys are having a good time, and I'm glad about that. But I'm going to call on Daniel DRABINSKI to come and lead us in our invocation, in our pledge, and the national anthem. Daniel DRABINSKI, come and lead us in the invocation. You might want to ask about these.
All right. All right, thank you very much. So we had a couple needs and wishes. Were there any others in the group? Yeah. There we go.
You're having too much fun out there, okay?
All right,
so
stop having fun. Let's be serious.
No, we want to have fun. But
all right, any other needs or wishes? We had one here from
Pat has one.
I'm sorry, Pat. Okay, very sorry. Pat's brother, Greg. Very sorry for your family. Anyone else?
My business partner is going through some treatment right now, so he's working from home, but it's just a little uncomfortable, not really fun for him. So if you could just keep him in your prayers.
Keep Mark's business partner in your prayers as well. Cindy Cummings had one here that I think affects quite a few people throughout the country. She said prayers for her brother, Doug McDonald, and his family. He lives in Tampa, Florida, which is obviously affected by the recent hurricanes. Still no electricity. Everything is a total loss. He acquired Vibrio, or I pronounced that correct, a sea waterborne virus similar to MRSA. It's fatal in 1 of 5 cases. He has been in intensive care since Saturday night. Now out of danger, but moved to a regular room. But obviously the hurricanes of this week affected quite a few throughout our country, so we certainly want to keep those regions in our prayers as well. All right, let us bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts. We are thankful for this Rotary Club, for the fellowship and service opportunities it provides, allowing us to make positive impact in our community and beyond. As the seasons change, we give thanks for the joys of fall, especially for the return of football. We celebrate our local teams, from the excitement of high school games to the success of SMU making the top 25. Anyone? I see a couple hands there. And we look forward to the baseball postseason with anticipation. In this time of camaraderie and competition, we ask that you help us carry that same spirit of teamwork and perseverance into our daily lives. As we approach an important election season, we ask for wisdom and guidance for our leaders. And we pray for peace, unity, and understanding in our country and around the world. In your name we pray, amen. All right, please remain standing and follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now it's time for Happy Bucks, and that is a time where Richard is dropping the Happy Bucks over there. Maybe we can pick up some of those in a minute. Anyway, it's a time for you to express the joy that you have about something that made you happy this week. Anybody? Tom Swift over there has some bucks that he wants to pass along.
Oh, I didn't want to give this many bucks. I'm happy that our little Dallas Mavs will be back in the playoffs again this year, so deep it's going to hurt whoever they come up against, because these guys are going to have a great year.
What an honor. Right. Anyone else with Happy Bucks? Anyone? Okay, then we have some introductions that we want to. I'll take that for you. Okay. Do we have any guests this morning? Jeff Brady right here has a guest.
She's not sitting with me, but I'd like Rachel to stand up just for a second. Rachel Roberts is a dear friend of mine. We've known each other for many years. I can't speak highly enough about her. She's an entrepreneur. She's also a fractional CMO. So if you're curious about what that is, ask her. She'd love to tell you all about it. So Rachel Roberts.
All right.
And a potential new member.
And if I could introduce someone, just get ahead of you there, Richard. I'd like to introduce Daniel Roby. Daniel, stand up. He is the executive director of the Austin Street Center, and we have done some work with them, and he is, I just happen to have a membership proposal form for you, and you might want to fill that out. He has already agreed that he wants to join our club, so give him a big hand. You want to say a word?
Word. No.
Word. Okay. I've stiff-armed him, and so he doesn't have anything else to say. All right. Anyway, great. Let's give him a big hand of applause, okay? Appreciate him.
Hannah, stand up. I have with me today Tana Hunter. She's one of our colleagues and a fantastic salesperson on the People Newspapers team. So if you need help with your business, getting it exposed to our readership area, Park Cities and Preston Hollow, call Tana.
All right.
Hello, everyone. I am introducing Mr. Sean McAdoo. He is my replacement for Encore Customer Service Executive for the Park Cities. So he would also like to join the club and take over for me.
All right. Good deal.
And he's also interested in doing the packing day. I've already sent him the information. He has a service heart, and I think he's going to be a great fit for the club. And I didn't mention, but I got a promotion, so I'm now moving to Arlington in the Mid-Cities, so I don't make it out here as often. That's why you hadn't seen me. So thank you. Thank you very much.
That's great. Congratulations. Do we have any other guests? It doesn't look like we do. Okay, good deal. Marketplace advertiser, Kathy Wall, if you'll come on up. You want to try this? Yep. Okay. There we go. You bet.
Oh, there's nothing there. Okay, real quick. I wish Barbara was here. I was looking for her. But we want to recognize Barbara Barney. She has a strong work ethic, as you all know, with 20 years of experience in the residential market and the DFW Metroplex. She has an extreme, genuine care for her customers. She helps provide very valuable service as a realtor to her clients at Alley Beth Allman. Barbara has an MBA in finance and real estate from Cox Business School at SMU, and also has a degree in interior design from El Centro, and won a student design award through the ASID. Barbara spent the first 3 years of her years in the residential real estate in Lake Highlands, Lakewood, East Dallas, and has since expanded to the Park Cities and the DFW Metroplex. She's played a key role in SMU's acquisition of units. I don't know if y'all remember that, when we had University Gardens and homes adjacent to SMU for the George W. Bush Library. And she has worked with many prominent Dallasites in the sale and purchase of their homes. Barbara is a multi-year top producer working with many prominent Dallasites in the sale and purchase of their homes. She's also a specialist in leasing in Park Cities, where she represents landlords. Barbara grew up in Farmers Branch, Preston Hollow, Richardson, and is currently residing in Park Cities since 1987. When she's not working with her clients or working hard for her clients, she donates her time in several local organizations and charities. She's involved in the arts in Dallas, spends time with friends and travels. She's a 17-year member of our club, and a 40-year member of the Highland Park United Methodist Church. Please join me in giving a big thank you to Barbara Barney for supporting our club.
Thank you so much. Let's see here. Herb Hammond, would you come up and do the RCPC Foundation announcement?
Thank you, Nolan. October is a big month. We have 13 people with October birthdays this month. So if you have a birthday in October, would you please stand and be recognized? Please consider making a contribution to the foundation. And if you did not have a chance to make a contribution and you had a birthday in August or July, Lori and I are still taking checks.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Herb. Appreciate that so much. And Tricia Cunningham is coming to give us an update about the North Texas Food Bank, and we are thrilled to hear what you have to say. That's for sure. Thank you.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be here, fellow Rotarians. I'm excited about our continued partnership, but it was just time for us to be able to give a little update. First, I want to make sure I introduce Harrison Coleman, if you have not met Harrison. Harrison is our liaison with the North Texas Food Bank with the Rotary Club. So I'm a member, I get to come and enjoy, but he gets to do all the hard work behind the scenes, so we're very appreciative there. Also, just to recognize all of those, Susan has done a wonderful job of being able to support us, Karen Ferris as well. I know from the parade we've had Jill and Alan, Nolan, every one of you. Just want to say thank you so much for your individual support. I know that hunger is one of our key priorities here at Rotary, and we are just very honored to be one of the partners that help you in this quest. On your table, I'm going to talk to you about two things today. Number one is the mobile truck. So back in 2015, Rotary Club provided a sponsorship for this truck that's on here. And I want you to know that through that sponsorship, we were able to distribute about 52 million meals out through the mobile. As all of you know, yes, congratulations. Thank you so much for equipping us. This was our very first one. We were testing this concept. We were trying to see how we could utilize a mobile pantry to be able to go out into the community and provide access to food in areas where there was not a pantry. And we have continued to utilize this method, but in a very different way. What we found is during the pandemic, our needs skyrocketed, and this was no longer large enough for us as the North Texas Food Bank to be able to distribute the food into the communities that was needed. Also, this vehicle now is almost 10 years old. And so instead of sunsetting the vehicle, I want you to know what has happened. We did a pilot with we had 3 mobile pantry trucks. We did a pilot with one of those with Catholic Charities, which is one of our partners, to see could they take that truck and could they utilize their networks and be able to go to places and us work with them on areas that needed access to food. And they could engage a lot of their community. They had a lot of trust in the community with their things to be able to go out and take that into areas where it didn't go. That worked really, really well. Many of you may not know that the way that we distribute with the North Texas Food Bank is in some areas of high concentrated need, we have 2 distribution hubs. How many of you have been to the old facility where we were? Have you been down there? That facility we still own, but Crossroads Community Services operates from that facility. Dallas County has the 6th highest food insecurity in the country. So in order to enable us to be able to get the food to where it needs to go, many of them are smaller agencies, and they go in, they pick up directly from that, what we're calling it, one of our distribution hubs. They also added pantry, so there was additional services whenever we moved into that area. We have another one of those hubs over in Mesquite with Sharing Life Community Outreach, was also another area over on that side of the Dallas County and serving in those areas as well. We have taken these 2 mobile trucks that we had remaining, we've stripped off all the North Texas Food Bank branding, and we have gifted those so that we will continue to be able to utilize those to serve the community with Crossroads and Sharing Life. So I just want you to know that the sponsorship and investment that you made, we're still putting that vehicle to use. It will be branded for them, but it will still go out in the community because now our mobile distributions are being done with box trucks, because we can't fit enough pallets of food on the truck, on these trucks, for us to be able to go and enable some of those community distributions. But I did want you to know that that investment is still being utilized in our community and is going to be utilized through some of our partners as well. So that's number one. So I want to thank you for that, and it is going to continue to be able to give life and food and hope into our community. Secondly, about the parade. So whenever you think about the parade, we finished a wonderful parade and we talked a little bit about that. We're gearing up for the next parade. We're so grateful to be a part of that. But I just wanted to say, we don't take for granted that we are that benefactor, but know that just through the parade alone, we've been able to provide access to 1.8 million meals just through the parade. So we are so grateful for that continued support as well. We look forward to continuing to work with you, and I know that Harrison will continue to be a great liaison. And we have what coming up, Susan, on October 26th? Volunteer Packing Day at the North Texas Food Bank, and it's a great day to be able to get together and then be able to pack up either some of the food or peanut butter or sort, all those things that we need. We can't do our work without our volunteers. We have 33,000 every year, and just imagine if we had to pay for all those volunteer hours that are coming in, there's no way we could do our work. So I hope all of you sign up for that, and we are looking forward to having you out at the food bank.
It looks like Harrison has something back here.
There we go.
There it is.
There's
Come
the meal
and
check.
show us that.
We're showing our meal check. Come on up, Harrison. Da-da-da-da-da. There we go.
Get a picture of that if you can.
All right.
Somebody?
There you go.
There you go, Daniel. Great.
Alan, come on up. Mr. Parade. Right there. You get to be right in the middle. Come on, Nolan.
All right.
There we go.
Thank y'all.
Excellent.
All right. Thank you so much, Tricia and Harrison. Elisa Garcia is going to come up and tell us about, we do a lot of fun things too, but here's another project that she wants to let us know about.
Hi, just a quick reminder that we're going to be doing the coat drive for Austin Street all month in October. So look in your closets or ask your spouses, your kids, and if there's anything that is a light coat, heavy coat, anything winter, Austin Street, their mission is to provide safe shelter that meets the basic needs of the most vulnerable homeless. They're one of the largest barrier shelters in Dallas, serving men over the age of 45 and women over the age of 18 since 1983. And among their services, it's basic needs, employment services, spiritual support, mental health and respite care, and substance use treatment, so they are a great partner for us, and if you have anything to contribute, so we will be collecting every Friday up front as you come in and grab your name tag, your badge. And so any kind of coats, jackets, light coats, heavy coats, gently worn, other items that they are in need of is, what do we say? Underwear, socks, small, medium,
There's an email
large,
that went out about this as well.
adult socks, any kind of socks. So any kind of, so if you have any, thank you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. We're looking forward to getting that project off the ground. There's a few announcements that I need to make. Saturday, we've already mentioned about the 26th, but this Saturday, the 5th, Dentistry with the Heart at the AGAPE Clinic is taking place, and volunteers are needed. So call Past President Fred Brown if you'd like to be a part of that effort. Then on Monday, the 14th, now this is something we all are a part of, whether you realize it or not. I think many of you got the email I sent this week, and I mentioned the fact that we do have a program committee. Now, do you know who's on that program committee? You are. That's right. All of us in the club are members of that team. Everybody's a member of the 4th of July team too, but the program committee team is something that you're a member of. So I want to encourage you to show up. Now, there are two people sitting here at the head table. Richard, you stand up. Jeff, you stand up. These are your fearless leaders. So on the 14th, which is a week from Monday, we're going to be meeting down at the YMCA, the Moody YMCA on Preston, and we're going to have a bang-up meeting where we're going to get the best programs that you can imagine, because that's kind of one of the first steps we need to have to be able to build our membership. So let's give them a hand for all that they do already. Free pizzas along with it, so I know you'll be excited about that. All right. Then on the 26th, we have the North Texas Packing Day. It's from 9 to 11, and show up with your blue shirt on. Now, I went the last time, and I didn't wear my blue shirt, and I felt horrible that I was underdressed. So please don't do like I did and show up without your blue shirt on. And then Friday, the 15th, is our club annual meeting, and so just be aware of that. One other thing that's kind of a new idea that's coming up, and that has to do with the Herb Zev is going to have a sparkling wine tasting class at Total Wine on November the 1st, which is Friday, from 6 to 8. It's Friday there at the I think it's the Park Lane location. And so if you'd like to have a little fun tasting some wine, then join him. Well, there'll be some emails going out about that, so be looking for those in the future. Now, the raffle drawing. Kathy Wall is got the pot and the all the different raffle tickets. We're going to ask our guest over here if you could ask Brian Lusk to pick the drum roll. We need it right now. The drum roll for this. So pick a ticket. I know it's a heavy task that you're being asked to do. So let me have that ticket, and I will call out the numbers on that. The last four numbers of this ticket are 1672. Now, who is the lucky winner? Who's got it? Oh, Mark. Go ahead. Come on up here, Mark. He gets. I'm now going to do this. Hold on. Got to change roles here. Okay, I'm going to shuffle these up. Mark is a little bit of a shady character, so I have to shuffle them well. So Mark is going to see if he can pick the ace of spades. If he does, he gets 50% of the pot here. How much is in that? 430. So $215. That's yours.
I'll wait until it gets bigger.
Okay, all right. He's not even looking as he draws. What do we have?
Oh, so close. Jack of spades.
Oh. He gets to keep. There we go. He gets to keep that that card to remember his failure. All right. So anyway, yeah, we're good friends, so he takes it in stride. Okay. Then let's see. The chair of the day is Jeff Brady, so I'm going to turn it over to Jeff Brady.
Thanks, Nolan. Thank you, sir. Yeah, it's great to see everybody here, and great to see what a strong club we have. Just look around and look at all the faces. I think people are back from vacation and enjoying being a part of this great organization. So just a little housekeeping. Remember, if you have questions, I'm sure we all will. Lee's got a bunch he's already thinking of the questions he wants to ask. Just hold them, politely hold them until the end of the presentation, okay? So imagine, listen to this. Imagine being 18 again. How great would that be? Graduating from high school and then having your pick, of high-tech, high-wage jobs in almost any part of the country, paying $60,000, $80,000, or even more, with full benefits and plenty of room for promotion, raises, and even college on down the road. Okay, Dallas ISD Career Institutes are graduating students with just those opportunities. Local students, right here, learning to be diagnostic medical sonographers, we'll find out what that is maybe, auto mechanics, chefs, firefighters, and even pilots straight out of high school. The district has three of these campuses, and one more on the way, where students work alongside industry partners, train on industry-specific equipment, and obtain valuable modern professional certifications, all while completing their high school diplomas. It's innovative, it's transformative, and it's growing. The four campuses provide a powerful economic engine for the Dallas area and for local families. So we have two speakers here to explain exactly how these programs work, and I'm delighted to introduce both of them. Dr. Brian Lusk serves as the Deputy Superintendent of Academics and Transformation at DISD. He's been a DISD classroom teacher, principal, executive director of schools, and deputy chief of schools. Brian was promoted to his current role in September of last year, and his team oversees academics, college and career readiness, innovation, and by the way, also athletics. He's a busy guy. I'm surprised he had time for us today. Chief Oswaldo Avarenga is currently the deputy chief over career readiness in the Dallas Independent School District. He oversees the Career and Technical Education Department, as well as these four career institutes we're about to hear about. He's been a high school math teacher, a coach, instructional supervisor, director of educational technology, and the executive director of STEM. We're honored to have both of these gentlemen with us here today, so please help me give a warm Rotary welcome to Dr. Lusk and Chief Alvarenga.
All right, I'm not quite sure it's fair to follow that voice that Jeff has got. He sounds like a radio broadcaster. Okay, I nailed it. And actually, he kind of did half the presentation, so thank you for that. So earlier I heard that the October birthdays, and I think I saw Jeff stand up, and like I think nobody else, and I heard a lady in the back, she says, well, I'm not getting up. I'm tired of celebrating those. So I think I get it. I get it. I want to say, first of all, thank you for allowing us to be here. My name is Brian Lusk. I'm the Deputy Superintendent in Dallas ISD. And this is unique, right? Because I'm talking to a group mostly who resides in Highland Park, and the service, though, across the city of Dallas. And that is important, and we appreciate it. As I sat here, I think you can quickly walk in a room and you can get a sense for who's in the room. And the reason I say that is this. As Oswaldo and I got here early, we sat kind of waiting for the program, actually waiting for the food, and it was good. But we had a lot of people approach us. A lot of people come say hi, hey, how are you? My name is so-and-so, and I do this, and tell us what you do. And I think that says a lot about people. Oftentimes I'll walk into a room like this, and somebody asks us to present, and sometimes you get the cold kind of, I'm not interested, thanks, who are you? Or kind of looking down almost at why you're here. So really, it told me a lot, it told us a lot, and I want to say thank you for that. But also, it really speaks to why you're here, right, and what you do is service. I talked to a few folks, North Texas Food Bank, we're a partner for sure. It's so important for our kiddos. In Dallas ISD, we have 90% of our students are economically disadvantaged. Then that really tells you right then and there that they are often hungry, right? So we are grateful for the partnership. Bonton Farms, I know you guys have served and invested time there. I used to teach right down the street at J.J. Rhodes, which is right down the street from Bonton Farms. And then also the book box. You just bought a book box for Jack Lowe, is that correct? Yes. And those are so great for our kids because it's kind of like when, as little kids, and I can reflect back, you go up with the bubble gum machine, you put a quarter in, now it's probably $5, but you put a quarter in, and you're like, what's going to come out of there, right? But this book box is so great to create the culture and expectations and educate our kids in a way that excites them. So thank you for investing in our kiddos. I'm going to give a little bit of background on Career Institutes, and then Oswaldo is going to get into the details because he's the resident expert here. But ultimately, I can tell you this. If you look at these slides, if you look at the visuals on these slides, it tells you a little bit about what we're going to tee up today, what we're going to talk about today, is tease it up. We recognized about 5 or 6 years ago that in Dallas ISD, we had about 40 to 50% of our students who were getting what they needed and 50 to 60 who were not. That's a problem. So confronting the brutal facts was important for us. And so once we did that, Oswaldo, along with a few other folks, began to kind of noodle on a napkin, sort of like the Southwest Airlines idea, right? Begin to kind of play with the idea of what do we do about it? How do we solve the problem? And so we're going to tell you a little bit of history of how we solved the problem, but more importantly, we're going to tell you what's available to our students. But as you can see on the visual, there's students can engage in up to 18 different programs of study, we call them, 18 different trades, from HVAC to aviation to electrical to automotive, and he'll give you all the details. But ultimately, all of these trades align to local job market, local needs, and more importantly, I think to the point that was made earlier, they're aligned to what's allowing students to live a good living wage in the city of Dallas. I mean, I think we all could say that $40,000, while it might sit right above poverty level if it does, you can't live on $40,000. It's not real, right? And so the jobs and the opportunities our kids can earn post-high school with these credentials will allow them to live a meaningful life. So just kind of a brief about Dallas ISD. Dallas ISD, I mean, you're familiar with the city, but Dallas ISD is a sprawling district, 240 schools, which about 38 of them are high schools. So 22 of them are comprehensive high schools, meaning that those are neighborhood high schools. And for all 22 high schools, our students have the opportunity to go to these career institutes. These career institutes, they're regional facilities, and as Jeff said, I think he said earlier, we have 3 career institutes. These are like big boxes, and we have one most closely here is on Walnut Hill and Midway Road. Have y'all seen that? Raise your hand if you've seen that. Okay, well, I think you need to meander a little bit up the road. But if you go up to Walnut Hill, Midway Road near Thomas Jefferson High School, y'all know where that is, right? Just east of there used to be a little school called Walnut Hill. Raise your hand if you know that school. Yes, I used to be the principal of that school like 15 years ago, And then about 5 years ago, I guess, Oswaldo, is that right? The tornado devastated it. Just totally took it apart. So you never let a good crisis go to waste, right? So in Dallas ISD, the building was old. It was over 100 years old. And so we made good on it. We said, you know what? We need to create these opportunities for students. So we built what's called career institutes. And these big boxes, we right now have 3 across the city. We'll have 4 here in a couple years, but regionally positioned across the city of Dallas. 1 in the north, 1 in the south, 1 in the east, and there'll be 1 on the west here in a couple years. But ultimately allowing students from 5 high schools that will go to each of these big boxes essentially, where students can take courses to get skills, trades, and be ready for the job market. So this is kind of what I spoke of earlier, and I'll be very, very quick here because I think we want to get to the exciting part of it. But ultimately, this was a picture of Dallas ISD 4 or 5 years ago. The left side, you can see that our students were taking they were enrolled in P-TECH, which is an opportunity for students to earn 60 college credits and an associate degree just as they're going through high school, through dual credit. So we have about 10,000 students enrolled in that annually. So that's been a great success for us. We launched about 7 or 8 years ago. The bottom left side you can see represents advanced placement, which we all probably know is former students, and magnet schools. So we had great magnet schools, and we still do in Dallas. We have P-TECH, but then we had another 50% of our kids, mostly in the comprehensive high school, that did not have a meaningful path forward that was going to lead to a living wage. So there was born the Career Institutes. And then I think the last thing I'll kind of talk through quickly, and these visuals are probably hard to read from there, but I just want to highlight the why behind the Career Institutes. First of all, we want to provide equity and access to students to a good living wage through opportunities. Second, we want to make sure the quality was good. We were providing career and technical education at the comprehensive high schools, but it wasn't good enough for our students because you couldn't, if you were a student and you wanted to go to a particular program of study, it might not be at your comprehensive high school, then that meant you didn't have access. So by making them regional and providing transportation to them, it made them available and an option. So there became the equity. Also, we wanted to ensure that high skill, high wage, and high demand were where we were focusing on. And so when we developed this, when Oswaldo and his team developed this, it aimed at all that. And then finally, we wanted to make sure more students were earning these credentials, these trades, so they can get out in the market and be successful. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the brains of this, Oswaldo Alvarenga. So he better sound really good. I've told you that, right?
Wow, the brains of that's pretty good. All right, so we're going to get to like questions, but before we get there, I want to get a little bit more details. Here are the 4 locations in the city. So you can see it's Career Institute North, South, East, and West. And that's because we'll have about 23 high schools, of which 5 act like a spoke and wheel. So this acts like where the students take the career technology education courses, okay? So if you can imagine 5 high schools around each career institute. Also, we're growing into the buildings. You can see currently we have about 6,000 students, high school students, aged 14 to 18, 6,000 students earning certifications, getting hands-on experience, going through the career institutes. But as the buildings grow, we will grow to about 14,000. Okay. Hello, how are you? Oh, wow. Now I know why you sound so great. Okay. I'm saying that once the buildings are completely open, it'll be about 14,000 students going through the career institutes. Here's a little bit of the timeline. So in 2018, that's when the napkins were being drawn. And around 2019, the facilities started getting ready. And in 2020, we opened up the facilities. It was a great year to open up face-to-face facilities. We had to overcome all the issues that I'm sure that you remember going through, and we had students come, and it is hard to learn how to use a table saw, virtually. It's very hard to do that. So we did a lot of safety videos, but eventually we got back in school and back on it. So you can see every year the buildings have grown, and Career Institute North opened up last August, and that's the flagship. Currently, Career Institute South is under construction. It is total gravel and sand, and we're about to break ground on Career Institute West. So here's a picture of Career Institute North. And I think what we're going to do is, because there's a lot of interest, we might set up a tour, especially for you all. And we'll set up a date, and we'll go travel up to Career Institute North. And that way you could just see what it is about. It's a lot easier to see it than to try to explain it. It's a state-of-the-art facility, and you can see in the middle there, that's our dentistry program of study. The certification they get is dental assistant, but if they continue on to Dallas College, it's dental hygienist, and that's where we want students to go. So every program has that type of equipment. Here's just some that I can't see from far away, but it's phlebotomy, EKG, ECG, diagnostics, therapeutics. You see welding, auto tech, cybersecurity, software development, game design. Don't tell anybody, they're actually learning software development and learning how to program. But they're learning how to do game design as well. So if you tell an 8th grader, who wants to go into software development? Who wants to go into game design? All of a sudden the hands come up. They are getting Python certifications, so it's a pretty good career path. Obviously, HVAC, as Dallas grows, as the state of Texas grows, facilities, that's becoming big. Mechatronics, which is electronic technician, that's a special program of study. You know, TI is opening up a big facility up in Sherman, up that direction. They are looking, so we're partnering with Dallas College to be one of the facilities in Dallas to produce electronic technicians, specifically not only for that plant, but as the CHIPS Act unwinds, there's just going to be a lot more opportunity. So that's one of our big programs. Healthcare is there again, cybersecurity, dentistry, more healthcare, EMT basic, auto technician, transportation. The two that came up was auto technician and aviation. We do have a shortage of pilots, but the airports have a shortage of everything that's going on in the airport. So we have simulators. You can get all your ground hours at the Career Institute. You can also get what's called an FAA 107 certification, which is your drone license. So as a 14-year-old, as a sophomore, you sit for that test. So you'll be able to fly any drone over half a pound, take videos and pictures and sell them. So you can see that, construction sites, rescue, roofing repairs, delivering Amazon, all that is in the future, and they get their FAA 107 as a sophomore. But that's going to lead to being a pilot. We had one student from Hillcrest complete all his ground hours. He passed the test with a 98%. Our aviation instructor passed that same test with a 92%. So she was like, he came specifically for aviation. So we're pretty proud of that. And then carpentry. We have a lot of partners that work with us, and we're always looking for more. So we want you all to come to our elementary schools and make the students aware of what type of jobs there are. A lot of our elementary students, they only know their immediate family. They don't realize there's other jobs out there. So in elementary, we need guest speakers to make everyone aware of what the possibilities are. In middle school, we explore. We want students the first time they see blood, hopefully it's not in their class, because then they're like, I shouldn't have gone into this. No, we want them to explore. We have different initiatives for our middle school students, but we want to go out and visit some of your facilities. We want our middle school students out there exploring so they can make a great decision when they get to 9th grade. So when they get to 9th grade, now they're in their program of study. And then, of course, by the time they're a senior, they've had 4 to 8 courses. They have industry-based certifications. They have had experience. And we think they'll be in a great position to make a good choice as to what they do next. So that is it as far as the details. We can answer questions now.
All right, questions?
I guess my question is, how successful are you, because you showed the 50% that were not being offered you wanted to help them. So how has it been getting, obviously, the parents buy-in and the students to consider these things now? Because the messaging is, once you leave high school, obviously, there is the need there. And the second question is, are y'all gauging your curriculum based upon the needs you're seeing? Are y'all doing all the metrics analysis for that? Because a lot of times you'll see offerings for schools and that there's no jobs waiting for them afterwards. So
Right.
I'm assuming you're on top of all that, clearly.
Okay, so I'll try to answer, this is a two-part question. I'll try to remember both parts. So how successful are we getting students to go to the Career Institute? So in 7th grade, this is new. Our board passed policy that all 7th graders must take an elective where they learn about careers. So they start learning about careers, and in Dallas ISD, we have 3 things that we try to tell them. You want high demand, high wage, high skill. And then we show them a Venn diagram. And we often use this example. There's an example where it's high wage and high skill, but not high demand. And so there's about 400 elementary students that are involved in this. And then as you go up, there's about, I think, 212,000 in high school, 35,000 in college, and then there's only 46 openings. And there's only about 500 in the whole organization. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Yeah. There's probably a lot of jokes there. It's the NBA. So, so it's like a lot of students are playing basketball in elementary school. But we tell them, yes, $12 million is the average for an NBA player, but they only take 46. And so that's the kind of lesson that we get into. You want the sweet spot where it's high demand, high wage, high skill. So in 7th grade, before you used to get that in high school. In high school, you start thinking about your future. We had to push that down to 7th grade because by the time you're a 9th grader, you need to be in the field that you're going to study. I know that's a hard decision to make, but we need our students to, when they're 18 years old, we need them to, if they have to go to the workforce, they're ready. But we want them to go to college, so they get that option too. The second thing is, you said, are we looking ahead what's in the job market? So we looked on the labor market information, LMI, and we figured out which ones were the high demand, high skill, high waged. If it's not high demand, high skill, high wage, we don't have it at the Career Institute. There's some CT centers around the state. They're bigger than what we have. And they have all the different careers. Some careers will lead you to poverty. I mean, and there's students in that career. And they're taking classes and get certification. And that is a dying career, or it's not happening. There's not a lot of jobs. So all the careers at the Career Institutes they meet that criteria, high demand, high wage, high skill. And if it changes, we sunset the program. And think about when you were in high school. I'm not sure what decade it was, but you remember that they put in some auto shop, and it's been there for 30 years, and it's probably the same teacher from 30 years, because we put it in, and that's what we're going to do. Everything at the Career Institute, if it shifts, the market shifts, we will shift with it, okay? And so we have, this facility is 170,000 square feet, which is, believe it or not, smaller than some around the state, but it's very focused. So we have 18 programs that cover health science, career, software development, cybersecurity, transportation, which is aviation, manufacturing, and which one did I miss? I said health science? It'll come to me. So it's the one in Dallas. It's the ones that you know are the fields that are hot. So I hope I answered that question.
So if these young adults decide that they want to take a trade school path, do they actually leave the high school and go to one of these trade schools, and that's where they go to school for whenever they, and also if you describe the aviation program to me?
Okay, so another two-part question. All right. I'll answer the first part. All the programs that we have lead to Dallas College, Dallas Community College, all the programs. So for example, you can get your HVAC residential. So students will get their EPA 608, which means they can handle refrigerant, buy and handle refrigerant, and work residentially. But where's the money? Commercial. Well, they can continue on to Dallas College. Dallas College sees that this is not a student just came off the street that's interested. They already have certifications. So they actually start them on the commercial side. Every single program that we have has that vertical path where they keep going. Therapeutics, they get, like we said, phlebotomy, CPR, their EMT basic. They can go on to Dallas College, continue becoming a nurse. They can go on to a 4-year college. All these credentials will stack on top of each other. So that's how these 18 programs of study, there's no dead end, it just keeps going. Oh, okay. So it sounds like the question is, do they leave their high school completely to go to the Career Institute? Okay. So we don't teach math, science, English, social studies at the Career Institute. That is all handled at the high school. What they do is half a day, every other day, they travel to the Career Institute to take their career technology education courses. That's a great question. So I can totally be in AP biology one period. I will then travel to the Career Institute, have lunch, and then I'll be into my EMT basic classes. And then I travel back to the high school. So they're there part-time. Did that clear that up? So this is not avionics, this is aviation pilot. So students are taking their ground school, all the simulation, and like I said, they get their FAA 107 cert, which is the drone pilot license. Senior year, that's when we're working with organizations to get them in the air. Yes. Yes.
Hi. Over here.
Yes.
I'm
hi.
Teresa DeFalco. I'm part owner of 2 emergency rooms. How can we partner with you?
During our tour, I'm going to be looking out for you, or we can actually meet beforehand.
I'll make sure, yeah, because we'd like to be involved.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And we're working with the hospitals where our students go out, and they go through the rotations, Parkland Hospital, Baylor Scott and White, and there's a third hospital system, but we would love to partner with you as well. Yes, absolutely.
Have one here.
Number one, I want to thank you both for being here. Listening to the presentation, I don't hear anything about the military. Having spent a few years in the Navy, I'm probably very much interested in that. There's so much I don't exactly know how to express it, but so much opportunity, both from the officer and the enlisted cadre, whether you go to the Navy or one of the other services. And you two as educators, what the Navy does, at their expense, we will take you to San Diego or Norfolk, fly you aboard the carrier. You can observe air operations night and day, then fly you back. And so what we're interested in doing is having all the educators have an exposure, and I can only speak to the Navy, of what's available for these young people. And then the last question or observation I've got for you is the welders. The Navy is very short on welders, and those are very, very high-paying jobs. We've got a lot of ship construction that are on the Gulf Coast down here, state of Louisiana and what have you. So there are just so many opportunities that are available from the military standpoint that I didn't hear in any of your presentation. Thank you again.
Okay, so I will let you know the accountability is college, career, military readiness. So that is part of what we're accountable to. And about 2 weeks ago, we had 50 JROTC instructors come to Career Institute North because they're going to hold their summer program. So the JROTC students, they hold their summer program. But like you said, the military has changed, right? What is really hot in the military now? Cybersecurity, drone pilot, right? It's different now. Auto technician. So all the JROTC, when they saw all these fields, they said all these fields are part of the military. So we're working with them. They will take their JROTC classes at the high school, but come for their technical classes to the Career Institute. So absolutely, that was planned with that in mind.
Yes, so if a student doesn't know what they want to do you do any kind of skills assessment or guidance to kind of guide them to a career that you think they might enjoy?
Yeah, that's where our counselors come into play. If you remember just a while back, counselors, you know, they took care of your schedule, and that was, you know, that was about, or get you to fill out a form, a scholarship. Advising has become a big part of that in middle school. So they do have surveys that they take. That 7th grade class, they take tests and see what they would like, interests, how much it pays. But then it's really our counselor talking to them. And then as the 8th graders, I didn't mention this, all 8th graders, they tour the Career Institute. So the counselors get them over to the Career Institute. Now imagine, I mean, this is a big production. October, November, we have about 10,000 8th graders that have to visit 4 Career Institutes. So all of October and November, we have different 8th graders coming through, and the counselors showing them each of the different fields, so that by the time they leave 8th grade, they have to say, you know, I don't have to say I'm going to be a welder, but they have to say I'm interested in the construction trades. Then as a 9th grader, guess what they do? They take plumbing, they take welding, they take construction, carpentry, and they dive deep into that. And then as a 10th grader, they start going deep into that field. Same thing with health science. As a 9th and 10th grader, they take medical terminology, a lot of the same things. In their 11th grade, they either take dentistry, they take EMT basic, they start going into their field. So it is harder to make a decision earlier, but that's what we're at now. So we realize that. So that's why we need all of you to get to our elementary schools. We need you to get to the middle schools. And we need you to have conversations with the students so that they can make a better choice when they become a 9th grader.
Oswaldo and Brian, I just want to thank you both. This is fascinating, and I think you've got a lot of attentive audience members here. 2 questions. One, are you partnering, you kind of touched on this a minute ago, but are you partnering with any large employer here in the DFW area who can say, look, if your students do X, Y, and Z and get this certificate, I've got a job waiting for them? That's one question. And the second is, do most large metroplexes, metropolitan school districts, have a similar program like this?
So let me answer the second part to your question first. In the nation, Dallas is doing this at scale. We're the only major urban district that's at scale doing something like this. I didn't hit it. Oh. There's a lot of smaller districts that have a CTE center. So what we had to do in Dallas is see that model, and we visited a lot of places. And what we're doing is bringing up 4 institutes at the same time. So that's the difference. Denver just passed their bond, so Denver's on their way. Nashville has a big entity, and there's an article in the paper, Houston Landing. Houston came up to visit our Career Institute, and there's a great article in the paper how they're going to try to pass a bond to mimic what we're doing. They have a couple fields that are different. They have a space program, and they have energy. But other than that, it's similar. But it's a great, if you look at it came out today, Houston Landing. So I think but we're not only doing that in the Career Institute space, we're leading with our P-Tech initiatives, our early colleges, our magnet schools. We're leading in a lot of different fields, not just the Career Institutes. The first question you had, corporate partners, yes. We actually have a new group because this is getting so big. Michael Gagne is our executive director, and he has what are called industry partner coordinators, but basically to build a relationship and get our students into those into the fields. Our P-Tech program has been very successful with Southwest Airlines, with American Airlines. I can mention they have over, how many partners they have? Over 100, and they've been very successful. And now our mom and pop shops, because a lot of the trades some are big, some are not. Excel Electric, Baker Brothers Plumbing, we are now like their favorite go-to because they're like, we want you to come up because we're going to be training our own. So we've become, in fact, when our seniors went there this year, the person providing the tour was the senior from last year who is now working for Baker Brothers Plumbing, and he brought 2 of his plumber friends with him, and so they're ecstatic. So we need about 1,000 industry partners, because yes, we have the big organizations, but then there's a lot of mom and pop shops provide an internship for one person or hire them. So that's the next, as we start getting bigger and get more seniors, we're going to need more of those opportunities.
Okay, Art gets the last one.
All right, last one.
What about entrepreneurial skills? Because a lot of these people will start their own businesses.
Absolutely. We think that's extremely important. So being an entrepreneur, 10 years from now, these students will go, hey, wait a minute, I can do this, I want to start my own job. Or they might have to, as a 18, 19-year-old, they might say, I have to do something. I have to create my own company now. So all our students, as a 10th grader, they take a class in entrepreneurship. And they get a certification, the ESB, the Entrepreneurship Small Business Certification, okay, which is an industry-recognized certification. They get that because what they do is they have to build a business plan. They have to pitch an idea. They have to see who their competitors are, what makes them different, and they have to present this to adults. And so actually, that's another great idea. I want to invite some of you to come out to be judges. And every year in the spring, the students have to pitch. And you know how many public speaking opportunities our students, public school students have? Do you know what the average is? How many speeches they give?
Nope.
0, 1. 0 to 1. That's to give an opportunity to speak. It's only one time. And so it's so funny. There was this girl crying in the hallway and asked the principal, I go, why is she crying? And then she's like, she's about to give her pitch. And I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, when she came out, she was like, that wasn't that bad. She was very confident. So every year we do the pitch. We have a Dallas champion. They compete in regionals. And then from regionals, they move on to nationals. And I know you're standing by. Next week, we have students traveling to New York to pitch their ideas at the nationals and try to win $10,000 in seed money. So,
congratulations. I think this is a wonderful program. You guys are really impressive. And a book is going to be placed in your honor at the Jack Lowe Senior Elementary School.
Oh, awesome.
For your being here today. But I had a thought. Sometimes I do have thoughts, very fleeting. But we have an open date, December, the second Friday of December, that we could do a tour if you're open. Can you work that out?
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Well, this is under advisement at this point, and you'll hear more about it if we can work that out.
Absolutely.
We'd look forward to doing that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Next week, we have a unique opportunity to hear Mike Rollins and Tom Leppard, our former mayors, come and speak. And they are going to be talking about, I'm not sure what, but we're going to figure that out. They want to talk about the political atmosphere in the Dallas-Fort Worth. Bipartnership is what they want to talk about. Well, collaboration, how about that? I'm not sure we're going to have enough room in here for everybody that wants to hear that. So I want you to invite someone. Now, I remember an email that went out about that. Invite someone, and next week could be possibly the best program we're going to have. And I'm going to have a meeting with the management and see if we can add a couple of tables for next week. So let's just see how we can do. Let's pack this place out, because that's going to be a phenomenal time that we can get to share with these two past mayors. Isn't that amazing? Now, who did that? Who got those people together? Well, it is the program team that did that. And these guys are the leaders of that. So you need to be there on the 14th. Now, by the way, I'm going to give a little comment. We're going to be on vacation on that day, but this first vacation I've taken, first one this year. So I didn't have it on my calendar. I apologize. But that doesn't mean you can't be there. So I hope that, but I will send my recommendation for a speaker. So don't think I'm backing out of anything. So with that said, Pat Martin is going to come and lead us in the four-way test. Pat, come up here. Now, Pat is well, she does a phenomenal job on our board. She is great. She has helped so much, and let's give her a round of applause before we even do that, okay? You are wonderful.
Thank you.
So the four-way test.
Thank you. Please join me in the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will be beneficial to all concerned. I've been waiting a long time to do this.
Hit it hard. All right, we're through. Thank you.